If you ever looked at your life and thought to yourself, I can't afford this right now, I want to challenge that thought that's in your head. And I don't want to challenge it by telling you to grind harder, budget harder, or save longer. I want to challenge it by showing and explaining to you the shift that helped me stop settling and start building the life that I actually desired. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this episode, so stay tuned. If you were to ask majority of people why they aren't achieving the things that they want in life, 90% of them will tell you it's because of a financial reason. We don't have the money to live where we want to live, do the things that we want to do, have the things that we want to have, or even give our kids the things that we were so eager to have when we were their age. And for some of you, you've tried everything. You went to school, you got the degree, and that's still not enough. You've tried every single side hustle that you've seen on Google and on YouTube, but that's not helping and bringing you results either. You've tried side hustles and hobbies, but some of them requires you to dedicate a lot of time to it, and that's just something that you cannot do right now, especially for something that's on the side and is not your main thing and your main career. Our lack in our inability to bring in more income is stopping us from achieving the life that we desire. Another mistake that's stopping us is this belief that we have that all we need to do is budget and save our way to wealth. We intercount both of these beliefs to try to achieve our goals. So for example, if our job or career is not helping us reach our financial goals, then what we'll do is we'll say, okay, well, I'm going to get a second job and I'm going to use that second job to budget and save some more. Okay, well, I'm going to start this side hustle that I've seen on YouTube where you can get paid for playing games, and I'm going to use that money to budget and save for more. We use both of these mistakes and put them together and try to use them to achieve our dream life. But I'm here to tell you that working harder and budgeting your way to wealth is not effective and is going to do nothing but keep you struggling. And you know, I can't just leave you with that. I can't just leave you with telling you what's not going to work for you. I have to give you a strategy that you can start using that will work for you. And so for today's episode, I want to share with you some of the most effective strategies that you can use to start building your dream life today. So let's not waste any more time. The first strategy is to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like an entrepreneur. The traditional solution to a money problem that me and many others have been taught all of our lives is that if you need more money, then you simply need to go out and you need to get another job. They tell you that if you need more money, you need to work harder. And if that hard work still isn't reaching those goals, then that goal that you have, that dream that you have is just out of reach. It's impossible. It's something that a person like you will never have, something that a person like you can never achieve. This is the reason why so many of us struggle with limitations. Like we see other people living the dreams that we desire and we feel like that's good for them. But in the back of our head, we feel like it will never happen for me. That will never happen for a person like me. I will never be able to achieve something like that. I will never experience a life like that. To make this more real, you'll see somebody who's driving a Mercedes or, an Audi or a BMW or whatever, and you think that's nice for them, but I was raised in the ghetto. I can never achieve something like that. I will never have a car like that. That car is too much for a person like me. Another example, you'll drive through a nice neighborhood that has $500,000 homes and you're like, that's really nice for them. I wonder what they do for a living because that will never happen for a person like me. I can't live in a house like that. I can't raise my family in that type of home. And it's very important that you begin to realize that the reason why you aren't achieving these things and you're not experiencing this type of life is not because you can't do it, but it's actually because of the mindset that you have. Instead of saying, if you need more money, work more harder, I want you to get into the habit of saying, if you need more money, then solve more problems. Working for money is actually an employee mindset. When you look up the definition of the meaning of work, it means that it is a physical or mental activity. It is something that you are mentally doing or something that you are physically doing. So when you think about working hard, it makes you think that you have to exchange your time and your physical capabilities for money. So if you are the type of person who believes in working hard for money, then I want you to understand that the reason why you struggle to believe that you can have certain things is because the way that you want to go about it, it will never come to pass. You are not wrong for thinking that 2 jobs and maybe a side hustle is not going to be enough for you to afford that Mercedes. You're not wrong for thinking that those 2 jobs will not be enough to get you a $500,000 home or even $1 million home. You are not wrong for thinking that working 2 jobs will not be enough to help you go to your children's basketball games and their cheerleading practices and be an active parent that spends a lot of time with them. You're not wrong for thinking that way. You're absolutely correct. The reason why you struggle with limitations and believing that there's a limit on the things that you can have is because the way that you're going about getting those things is in a limited way. Working hard limits what you are able to do, which then limits what you are able to have. So instead of thinking like an employee and aiming to work harder to achieve your dream life, I instead want you to think like an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur aims to bring a solution to the marketplace and package it up in a low effort way. Now, if you want to know what the definition of a solution is something that people are already seeking. They want this thing so bad that they are willing to pay money to have this thing. An entrepreneur sees the problem that people are having. They create a solution and they package that solution up in a low effort way that does not require a lot of physical time and physical activity from them. So let's go over an example. Let's say that you have a goal to make $12,000 per month. Which idea sounds better to you? Idea number 1. You have a job that makes you $20 an hour, which then produces you $3,200 per month. Now, clearly, $3,200 per month is not enough to reach your $12,000 a month goal. So with this, you get a part-time job, which you make $16 an hour, and then you produce $1,280 per month from that job. So with both of these jobs total, you make a total of $4,480 per month. And because you have a part-time job and a full-time job, it takes you 60 hours per week to make this $4,480 per month. Now, 60 hours a week is a lot of time. And remember, we are very limited with the amount of time that we have. This is why hard work is very difficult. You need time to work, you need time to sleep, and you need time to cater to other things that you need to get done. So because you have a limited amount of time, you can't make space to get a 3rd job or a 4th job or a 5th job. So what you have to do is you have to look at this $4,480 a month that you are making, and you just have to make it work. It's not your goal of $12,000. It's actually way lower than $12,000, but you have no more capability in you, so you have to make it work. So that's idea number 1. Now let's go to idea number 2. Idea number 2, remember, we still have the same goal of making $12,000 per month. So we decide to launch a coaching program, and we're going to sell this coaching program at $5,000. You aim to create a goal of making 2 sales per month, which will put you at $10,000. On top of that, you want to have a low ticket offer. So you create a course and you sell that course at $200. Then you aim to make 10 sales per month, which will bring in $2,000. Now, if you add up the $10,000 that you're making from your $5,000 coaching program, you just hit your goal and it only takes you a total of 5 hours per week to make this happen. Do you see why it's important for you to think like an entrepreneur instead of thinking like an employee? This is why the first strategy is to shift your mind and start changing the way that you go about making income. So let's go to strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 is to plan your financial return before you even start. I know that I talk about this a lot, but I talk about it so much because I really want you to understand how important it is. I don't want you to be the type of person who starts a business and you're still struggling financially. I don't want you to be the type of person where your business has to be a side hustle because you still have to work a full-time job because your business isn't making enough for you to meet your financial needs. And the main way for you to avoid this is by planning out your financial needs and setting your business up to make sure that the profit you are making is enough to cover what you need. So let's go back to the example that we used in strategy number 1. Let's say that your goal is to make $12,000 per month. If your goal is to make $12,000 per month, then you don't want to set your business up where it's only bringing you $5,000 per month, because then you won't be able to quit your job. You're still going to have to rely on a paycheck in order to live the life that you want to live. You have to start with clarity. You have to know where you are going so that you can set up a proper plan to get there. This is actually something that I teach in my book, Dreaming to Achieving, where I show you how to actually visualize and get clarity on what it is you actually want, and then create a step-by-step plan that's based on wisdom to get you there. But my book isn't released yet, but I still want to give you a strategy to help you do this. So what I want you to do is I want you to get out a piece of paper and I want you to draw a line down the middle. So on the left side of the piece of paper, I want you to write down everything that you currently pay for. So this could be your grocery costs, this could be your rent or your mortgage, your car note, your insurance, everything that you are currently spending money on. Write a list of all those things, write how much you spend on each of those things next to that item, and then I want you to add up that cost and write the cost at the bottom on that side. Then I want you to move over to the right side of the paper. On the right side, I want you to write down items that you wish that you could pay for, but you cannot currently afford it. So this could be like a subscription service that you want to have. Let's say that you really want to have Netflix, but right now money is tight and you just can't afford Netflix. Let's say that you really want to make a habit of getting your nails done on a monthly basis or every 2 weeks. Write down nails and how much it will cost you a month to get your nails done bi-weekly. Anything that you desire to pay for that you currently are not paying for now, I want you to write those things on the right side of the paper and then write the cost next to it. Then I want you to do the exact same thing. Add up those costs and write that number at the bottom. Now, you want to take those two totals, the total of how much you're currently paying for things per month and the total of how much you would pay for the things that you desire to pay for per month. And I want you to add those totals together. This will show you how much money you need to earn to be able to achieve the life that you desire to have. I want you to take it a step further too. Let's say that right now you are renting, but you currently desire to own a home. Not only do you desire to own a home, you desire to own a $500,000 home. Well, on the left side of the paper, I want you to write down how much you're paying for rent. But then on the right side of the paper, I want you to look up $500,000 homes, look up how much a mortgage would be if you put a certain amount of money down, if you have the credit score that you have, do an average of how much those mortgages will be and write that mortgage number on the right side of the paper. This way, in your business, you can aim to be able to cover where you are currently living, but still work your way up to buying a home. But regardless, determine how much money you need to make in order to afford your dream life, and this will tell you how much money you need to aim to make in your business. So, strategy number 3 is to solve your client's problem in the most low effort way. There are so many different types of businesses that you can start. You can do a service-based business where you are still exchanging your time for some money. You can do a physical business where you have a physical product. Like, for example, let's say you sell perfume or you sell, a candle and you're shipping that thing to your client. And there's also an informational business where you are packaging up your knowledge and you're giving it to your client at a price point. To me, the easiest business for you to start with is an informational business. It's a business where you join the coaching industry. You have been on this earth for years, for decades, and so you have gained a lot of wisdom along the way. And I think that it is the most easiest thing for you to package up the wisdom that you have and give it to someone else for a price. And although these businesses do require some effort and some work, they don't require a lot. You can set up a coaching program where you spend, let's say, 2 hours per week doing coaching calls and trainings, and you're making $5,000 per client. You can even set up automations in your business, which will make the effort that you're putting in even lower than it already is. And you can still be making 4 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures, or even 7 figures from your business. So as you're transforming your mindset and you're trying to figure out a solution that you can solve in the marketplace, make sure that that solution is information based and determine the best way to package it up and deliver it to your client. You already have something that can fund the life that you want. Package that thing up and deliver it to your client. And if you're wondering how to do this, I decided to create a 4-day challenge called Coach What You Know. And in this challenge, I show you exactly how to, number one, uncover the gifts, the talents, the wisdom, and the resources that you currently have where you are. Number 2, how to package those resources into a coaching program where you can charge at least $10,000. And number 3, how to market that coaching program and launch it in just 30 days. And so if you would like to join the wait list to Coach What You Know, click the link in my description so that you can be notified as soon as the next one is available. But as we go, remember that the life that you want is not out of reach. You're just using a plan that doesn't match your dream. You don't need more jobs. You don't need to work harder. You just need to solve more problems. And so before we go, of course, I have an action step that I want to give you to do. So sometime this week, I want you to take 20 minutes and write down, number 1, what does your dream life actually cost you? Use the method that I gave you in strategy number 2, where you get a piece of paper and you write down what you're currently paying for plus what you desire to pay for and add those things up. If you need help with that, I do have a worksheet that walks you through exactly how to do that, and it will be in the description as well. So write that down first. Then ask yourself, what solutions can I provide that is worth my dream life cost? But that is all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you subscribe so that you get notifications every time a new episode is released. Also, share this episode with someone else that you know it will help, and I will see you in the next episode.